Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
I agree. You know what? This is going to be a back to basics beginning course on how to use Canvas. I know that some of you are Canvas masters. In that case, this is not the video you are looking for. But people who are like, you know what? I never used Canvas. I teach dance. I teach theater. I teach something that was project based and everything we did was in person. This is probably the video for you. So let's start with the Canvas dashboard. When you come to the Canvas dashboard, you're going to see classes that you have either been made a part of as a student or as a teacher. To change what's on your dashboard, you're going to click over here on courses, and then you're going to click all courses, and you'll see the list of all of the courses that you are currently enrolled in, as well as past courses that you have either been a part of or taken. Now, if you look at these areas where it has stars, those are the ones that are showing up on your dashboard. You can change that. If you're like, you know what, I don't ever use this course, bye. If you want to be added back into a course, here you go. So make sure that you have control over what is showing up for you so that you have easy access and it doesn't get overwhelming. So let's click back on dashboard, because this is your home base. Also, I want to forewarn you, I have lots of animals. Some of them may pop up in this video. I can't control it, just roll with it. Okay, so this is my main course. This is the one that I teach primarily in this year. You may notice that my intro page looks a little different from yours. Yours probably looks something like this. The parts at the top are things that I added once we went digital, but traditionally my course looked like this with a couple of buttons right here. So let's start with creating pages. This is your home page. To add pages, you're going to go over to this sidebar and you're going to find pages. Now you may notice that there's an icon over here, and these icons either look like a I with a dash through it, or you don't have any sort of icon through it. That icon just indicates that it's something that a student can or cannot see. So if you see the slash with the I, that means a student can't see it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist for them. It just means that they can't access it through the sidebar. To change what's in the sidebar, you're going to click on Settings. In Settings, Course Detail section, Navigation is what you want to go to. In Navigation, you can change what things are visible to students or not visible to students by dragging and dropping them. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would probably just make it home, modules, and grades, and that's it. You really want your students to be navigating your course through the modules you're going to create and the pages you make, and you do want them to see grades. If you want to enable assignments, you can, but that should only be done if you're not going to make modules. And we'll talk about both of those and how they work. But if you just want to make some assignments, allow students to access it that way. If you want to get a little bit fancier and make some modules, which I recommend in the long term, but maybe in the short term, it's too complicated, that's okay. But either way, you can go ahead and make all of these available for right now. I'm just going to pull that guy right back out. So we're going to go back to our home page. And then, like I said, we're going to start by making some pages. So if you click on pages, mine's about to look overwhelming because I've got about 1 million pages. You want to click View All Pages up at that top left-hand corner. Now, most of you probably will not have this many pages. I have obviously been developing content for quite some time, as my course has always been digitally based. So to create a new page, you just click this top right-hand corner, Page. This is what it's going to look like. This is where you name your page. So fake page. Then down here is where you put whatever it is you want the students to see in the page. Let's say you want to give them an intro to digital learning. There's some fun things you can do with editing in Canvas. If you want, you can change the font size. If you want, you can change the color by highlighting it. If you want, you can change the text color. And of course, you have your normal bold, italics, underlines, etc. This is what'll align it left, center it, align it to the right. If at any point you want to make a list of bullet points, you got your bullet points there, or you can make it numbers right there. A lot of this is very much like a word processor. Now, down here is where it gets a little bit fancier. If you're like, I'm not ready for that, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can, of course, just say Intro to Digital Learning and then write out things for them, and that can be it. It can be very simple. But I'm going to show you some things to kind of spice it up a little bit. If, for example, let's change the text color back to black and maybe not highlight things. If you want to make a table at some point, maybe they have 3 choices of things to do. You can put choice number 1, choice number 2, choice number 3. And then if you want, you can increase the size of the table or just add like a row on top or a row below. Honestly, I recommend just kind of playing around with these things and seeing how they work. Worst case scenario, you just delete it all. Oops, I forgot. You do that by going like this. Delete table. Let's talk about some of the other things that are here in this navigation bar. This one is how you will insert media. I'm going to come back to that because it can be a little overwhelming at first, but I'm going to explain it slowly in a moment. If you want to include a link to a URL, what you would do is you would highlight the text, go over to whatever it is you want them to have a link to, and then you are going to click this little link button and then paste it. I am pasting by using the Mac shortcut Command V. And then ta-da, it will insert a link. Now when you insert something from YouTube, anytime you do it, it will automatically make the video appear for them on the Canvas page. So really quickly, let's see what that looks like. This way, I have the link in the line plus down below. This way, where I've just copy and pasted it in, it says link. Either way, you can see a little mini version of the video below. Now, this next is if I wanted to get rid of the link. So if I had linked something, I could highlight that text back and click unlink to make it go away. All right, this next one is how to embed an image. If you've already got the image like on your desktop, I'm going to walk you through that because it's a little different. But if it's an image from a URL, you're going to just paste the URL to the image. I'm guessing that most of the time you won't be doing that. So instead, what you're going to do is over here, let's say you want a picture involved. You're going to click Images, and then you're going to click Upload a New Image. So you're going to click Choose File, and then you're going to take the picture you want, click Open. And then instead of writing something here, click Decorative Image to make the image show up on your Canvas page. Well, it's taken its sweet time. There we go. Look, it's the picture of my adorable dog sitting out on my porch, which is what I've been doing most of the day. All right, so once you've got your image in, if you want, you can resize it if it's too large. There you go. If you want, you can click next to the image, maybe press enter, and then say, these are my dogs, Shelby and Polo. Now, again, this is all sort of general creation stuff. Anytime you want to include something in your page, you're going to either go to Images, Files, or Links. Now let's talk about links. Let's say I want to link them to an assignment I have created, and we'll talk about creating assignments and things like that in a second. All of that's available right here. If you've made an assignment, you just click here, find the assignment you want, and I've made a lot, so you may, if you've made as many as me, need to load more results to find the one that you are looking for. If you want to link them to a quiz you've made, you can do that here. An announcement you've made, a discussion, a module, anything like that. And when you got the thing you want, let's say I want them to link to this discussion board, I'll just click it. I'll go, hey, I want this to link to Ask an Author. And now there's the link. So then the students have access to whatever it is you're directing them to. Now, what do we do with these pages? Like, where do we put them? How do the students know how to get to them? Why would we even make them in the first place? Good questions. Let's go over to modules. Over here in modules is where you're going to house all these pages you make and turn them into a useful course structure for your students. To make your first module, click Module. You might want to make your first module something like digital learning or distance learning or something like that. Don't bother locking it. Don't bother adding a prerequisite. It's going to create that module down at the very bottom for you. So if you have other ones in there already made, you're going to scroll down until you find the one that you want. Now, this icon right here shows that the module is currently invisible. Students can't see it. The only one who can see it is you. If you want people to be able to see it and access it, you're going to click that and boom. If there is a green circle with a check mark next to it, you know that it is something that is visible to others and published. So let's unpublish it for now, just because we haven't actually done anything with it. And you're going to click this plus button. This is where you're going to add things you've created to your modules. So we just made a page. So let's click on page. I named that fake page. So I'm going to click it, add item. Now the very first thing that students are going to see is this fake page I've made. Ta-da! Here we are. And students now have that as the first thing they see when they go into that module.